We watched an episode of Jessie. It was season 3, episode 4, called The Blind Date.
Okay, so The Blind Date was about Jessie and her ex-boyfriend, and they were trying to prove to each other that they were fine with breaking up and they had moved on. In order to do this, they decided to set up each other on blind dates. The subplot was about the boy who Jessie's nannies, and he started his internship at the zoo and was trying to impress his boss, but instead, his sister gives the zookeeper a makeover to impress one of the scientists.
As a child, I love this show. Jessie is so cool. Look at her being able to be friends with her ex-boyfriend. She even dresses cute too. She totally bosses her ex-boyfriend around and just seems like she's so easygoing. It was really funny how dorky the zookeeper was before she got her makeover.
So dorky.
But once she did get the makeover, she was totally pretty, and the scientist noticed her, and it was really cool. And with her makeover, she even got the gorilla that escaped from its cage. Long story. They escaped, and then she got it to go back in, even though the gorilla didn't notice her because she looks so different. She just has a way with it. So
It's really cool.
it was just a really fun episode.
So as a parent, I would say that it's a harmless show that entertains my child, and I absolutely love it, and so does she. I don't mind my child watching this. In the grand scheme of things, it's totally appropriate in comparison to other Disney shows that I think are on TV that are completely inappropriate and can be quite controversial. I don't think that the children are taking any bad messages, away from it. And as long as kids have done their homework before, and as long as they're not spending their entire afternoon after class on the couch, then I'm completely okay with it.
As a teacher, I don't love this show, but I really don't mind it. I can tell that there's no real educational value to it. However, I don't mind if my students are watching it, but I would encourage them to kind of even it out with something more educational occasionally. There's no really threatening female conflict in this show, which is nice because sometimes when young girls see that, they copy it and kind of bring it into the classroom setting and engage with their peers like that. So in that aspect, Jessie is a good show. And there are a few underlining take-home messages that are nice, such as this episode taught them things like how to cooperate with each other, how to stand up for your friends. Jessie stands up for the little boy she nannies when he almost gets fired. So she really, at the end, kind of brings it all around and sends home some good messages. And she really teaches kids some confidence. She's a little funny and weird herself, but she kind of takes it in strides and
She encourages
goes with
kids
it.
to be themselves.
Exactly. So I don't think there's really any harm with the show. I have no problem.
Alright, so as child development majors, we feel a parent needs to be aware of the issues that are being brought up in these episodes. For example, in this episode, you could talk to your child about how you don't need a makeover for others to notice you. It relied heavily on Jessie's relationship with others, and when children are watching this and they are trying to form their own identities, it may cause confusion and set unrealistic expectations. They may see that having a boyfriend and going on dates is the norm. The show creates somewhat of a false reality for children.
Also, the premise of this show is really unrealistic. It's this young girl who leaves her family, is in the city nannying for someone else. And so it kind of sets up this whole false world that children don't necessarily know isn't realistic.
And I think that wraps up this episode.